All right, welcome everybody to the April 20th Ortelius outreach meeting. Tracy's going to kick off with SecureChainCon.
All right, so we are a month away from Open Source Summit CDCon 2026. That is pretty much put together. We have Steve's doing a talk on Ortelius. I'm doing a talk on defensive and offensive vulnerability scanning. And Kate is going to be doing something on the CI/CD cybersecurity project, as well as me. I'm going to do that for Open Source Summit. But more importantly for this group is SecureChainCon. I have everything up and ready to take a look at. I have a registration page. The registration page has a link to the Zoom registration. And I have a submit to speak and a call for speakers page on Sessionize. So we got approved for that last week that we can use it for free. We have one speaker so far have submitted, and I am starting to invite speakers, so I could invite 5 a day with the free version. So I have started inviting speakers as of this morning. So I would ask you, if you are planning on submitting a talk, get it out there. More importantly, to test everything and make sure everything's working correctly as I suspect it is. Sometimes when you've signed up yourself, you can go to call to speakers and it looks all fine, and then somebody else does it and something goes wrong. So it'd be great if you could go ahead and submit a talk to make sure that is all hunky-dory. So I think that we have out on the website now, we have everything we need for that. So if I just go to Ortelius.
English.
What was the question?
No, sorry, I was talking to myself. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, did you answer?
I did.
So it is out on the events page. I think I'm going to do something with these images. They're not quite right, but it's out on the events page, and it has its own blog page, and it has a registration site and a call for speaker site. So we should be all good. Now the task is to get as many talks as possible, and then we'll go through as a team and choose the speakers. So when we get closer to that, I'll recruit a few of you to help select talks. And if you could take a look at this, make sure I've got it all right and nothing looks odd, would be great.
I thought we liked things that looked odd.
Sometimes we do. We are an out of the box kind of group, aren't we? Yes, and we are we are still looking for blogs. The blogathon is still out there. We've got some interesting ones. Steve and I submitted, and I know that Utkarsh and Jing have some amazing ones that are coming up around AI. So I'm looking forward to that.
And that forgive me, that closes out in 10 days at the end of the month. Tracy, if you could refresh me, I forget.
No, you got some time on the blog. I think we're going to run that for a while. That runs through July 1st.
Okay, yeah, because I still have one to do in my backlog based on our conversations.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, you should be good. You should be good. So those are the two kind of events that we're running right now: the blogathon and SecureChainCon. SecureChainCon, we don't have a lot of room. It's only a half day, so it would be nice to get 15 or 20 submissions so that we could choose from. And I need to still work on a keynote, so I will still be working on that. Any thoughts? I think the most important will be to take a look at everything and make sure it looks okay.
You know, it feels like you've done a lot of work. You've done all the work. So
I kind of I have it all down. It doesn't take me long to actually put it together. It looks like a lot of work, but it's probably about 2 hours worth of work, since I already have a lot of this formats from other other times that we've done it. It gets easier every time. So if you know somebody that you would like to see as a keynote, let me know. I've got some ideas in mind, but if there's somebody you think that we should bring on as a keynote, please bring it up.
Do you want me to talk to John Linford?
John would be a great keynote.
Okay, because he covers both supply chain and security at Open Group. So
Yeah.
he's in Boston right at the moment, but he's getting his email. So I will ask him about it.
Yeah, and let him know it's pre-recorded if he'd like to, or he can do it live. It'd be great to do it live because then we can ask him questions. And it's June 25th in the morning.
I will
Has,
take care of that.
has Kate spoken on SecureChainCon?
She has not. I don't. Kate right now is trying to memorize her TED Talk.
Oh, oh, right. I forgot she got accepted for the TED Talk. Okay.
She has a TED Talk and it's coming up in 2 weeks, so I have tried not to bug her too much.
Yeah.
She is going to speak at CDCon though,
Okay.
so she'll be at CDCon. And I went to VulnCon last week.
Oh.
And this would be probably more for the architecture team, but I met a couple of people from IBM and somebody from Red Hat that's doing some really interesting stuff with SBOMs. I'm going to do a follow-up call with them, so I'll put it out there if anybody would like to chat with them. In particular, IBM created a dashboard that kind of does some summarizing around SBOMs, which was a very interesting dashboard, but you really have no place to get to it from, and they're part of the office of the CISO office of IBM. I pitched to them that maybe we could consume their technology into ours, because it would be super easy to add their SBOM analysis to our dashboard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, and then the other one was
to own the dashboard because it's the customer eyes on it.
Well, not this team. It is definitely open source, and they've been told that their job is not to start an open source community, to go find a place for it to live.
And by the way, I'm fully distracted by this handsome guy beneath you on my screen. This Steve's new avatar. It is.
Yeah, isn't that great?
It does. It looks like it's straight out of Hollywood.
I know. It's a picture he took from his dad's birthday in Florida.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
There you go.
that looks great. Just sort of open discussion. I'm curious, did you hear Tracy at VulnCon or elsewhere, and to the whole team? Have you heard any reactions to, some of the recent AI accelerated vulnerability detection news? Claude, there's Anthropic. They released their closed system that they use to do vulnerability detection and pen testing. There's, I think, the Curl project recently released an article about how they're now starting to get a bunch of valid AI generated pull requests to patch vulnerabilities. And I'm just curious, Tracy, I think, you're more plugged in day to day than me and a lot of us. Curious what you're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bigger question is really, as an outreach committee, what can we do to lean into that to get Ortelius positioned in the conversation?
Yeah, so not a lot. I can tell you I did not hear a lot about what I would call AI ops, because there is a move finally for some of the operations tools like Broadcom, and there's a couple of new security tools that are kind of operationalizing security in AI, but it isn't there yet. Let's just put it that way.
So,
There was I did attend some sessions around AI bombs,
mhm.
and while they were happy that they were starting to be generated, most of the security analysts that were there, the cyber analysts that were there, didn't feel like that they were accurate, that they didn't have enough. And another conversation, two conversations were very prevalent in the sessions I went to. One, our SBOMs aren't accurate, so they need work because they're so
Traditional software bill of materials versus AI bombs, you mean, or not?
either one are not accurate enough. AI bombs don't have enough information. S bombs, the dependency information may not be accurate. There's not been enough testing on it to really clean them up and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. And then the other one was we got to stop doing, I wasn't the only one talking about figuring out how to do post deployment detection. So continuous threat exposure management, CTEM, was discussed quite a bit. Not in that frame, but in the awareness that just scanning at a point in time isn't enough.
Right. Okay.
The other thing that was interesting is what China's up to.
So Tracy, real quick before you jump over to China, was there any discussion around AI doing auto remediation?
You know what? These were vulnerability geeks. They were definitely not DevOps geeks or talking about how to do remediation. They were all talking about how do you find vulnerabilities more than how you fix them.
Got it.
How many vulnerabilities are being found, how they're being detected, what's the they were all data scientists and they were really geeky when it came to their research and the numbers. I saw more graphs in that 4 days that I have never want to see again. Everybody had a graph. So the discussion around auto remediation was happening inside the expo floor, which had some interesting companies. There was probably about 30 companies there. One company called Manifest, I thought looked like was an interesting company. None of them were thinking about trying. I was the only one talking about the idea of a digital twin, and my presentation went quite well. I had several people come up and say, this is exactly the direction it needs to go, and wanted to talk more about how to find and post deployment just so they can fix what's broken. I mean, that really did become a conversation that people outside of just the presenters and the attendees were talking about. But the presenters were super, super data science focused. And they did say that they believe that like OSV Dev and even MITRE, they said that they are probably underscoring medium vulnerabilities.
Okay.
That they're probably closer to a high risk than they are a medium. So they're scoring them around 6 or 7, and they believe that they're probably an 8. So that was a discussion too, was the scoring, how to score them and make sure that they're presenting the right amount of data for people to do the risk assessment. So they're all about finding the vulnerabilities and assessing the risk value. That's pretty much what VulnCon was about.
Okay, so related to that, Tracy or Steve, do you look at the Chili Slack much?
I do once in a while.
So there was something that popped up just this morning that NIST posted on the 15th. Let me share my screen for just a sec. So you can see they're refocusing a bit on how they do scoring on CVEs, but to me, the interesting thing was CVE submissions increased that much, and they're up a third in this year compared to last year.
Yeah, isn't that insane? These were the kinds of charts that I was seeing. They talked a lot about that massive increase.
So I think the connection to me to Ortelius is and I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Um, how are you going to know what you've got in the
Well,
light weight of this tidal wave of exposures being reported all the time? And I think we have a very good story there.
I do too. And, like one person came up to me and said, if you, if what you're saying that Ortelius is doing, that you can just show me what's hitting my production endpoints. And if he was like, if you could also say to figure out if it's reachable or not, it would it would really reduce the analysis we do around risk,
Hmm.
because we would know immediately, okay, it's a high risk, critical, and it's reachable. We should just fix it and forget about how reachable it is and what the exposure is. Because a lot of these event management platforms that Gartner's talking about, they try to set up a system for you. So if there's one that comes through, who do you notify? Almost like
It's like a
the
service
response.
now.
It's like a
Is
service, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Or like a response system. If there was a fire being called in, who do you notify? Who do you bring in the room? What's the procedure? Have you followed all the procedures to determine its risk value? And like the one developer said, I just want to know if it's impacting my production environment. If it is, I'll make it a priority and we'll get it fixed. Otherwise, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
And that's
So
kind of where they're at.
there's a bunch of work going on in Open Group right now on quantifying and weighting risks. But I also saw something that Brian posted something, Brian, I think you saw it. Joe Davis was one of Microsoft's sort of top security guys in their field-facing organization, just put up a blog a couple days ago on implications for board level of Anthropic's Mythos. So don't need
Yeah.
to do much on it now, but it's worth taking a look. And Joe is somebody that's worth following if you don't.
I'll tag them and follow them. I am not following them.
Yeah, I
Here.
mean,
So
Brian Dawson's worth following too, of course, but
I was just
I
actually,
mostly am looking to see if he's dropping his wallet. That's why I would follow him.
well, that is definitely why I'm worth following, because that will happen. iPhone, wallet, whatever you need. But yeah, I'll follow Joe.
Anyway,
Yeah, I think there's a really interesting, and maybe it is a shift. I have to go back and revisit at some point what I sketched out for a blog post. But as both you, Tony, and Tracy just said, like, okay, great. Even if we look at the open source projects as a pattern, now all of a sudden they are getting an influx of vulnerability. Well, not vulnerability yet, but I guess it'd be vulnerability detection. Long story short is when you have a whole fleet of application servers deployed, and now you're getting the sudden influx of discovery of CVEs, how do you know what matters? Right? Or Tracy, to your point, for a particular vulnerability or system, who do we call?
Well,
So I'll look to consider fleshing out a blog post on that.
yeah, and kind of along the same lines, do I care?
Right.
yeah. And a lot of people are good at doing, a fair number of people are good at doing business criticality of systems.
Mhm.
But I think it was you, Steve, that said the thing people don't do so well is reachability.
Yeah.
yeah, when
Something that's,
there
go
was a
ahead,
lot of
Tracy.
discussion. There was a lot of discussion around reachability, and anybody who spoke about it, I asked them. In fact, one of the teams that we're going to bring in, they were looking at reachability, and I said, if you can tell me what's reachable, then can't you tell me what's not reachable so we can take it out of the package? Why are we carrying around the dead weight that would potentially show vulnerabilities if it's not reachable? Why do we have it in there? And I think that that's another discussion that we should be having. But it would be good if we had someplace, I think, on our when we do find vulnerabilities, to give it a reachability score of some sort.
That's one that I just don't think it's touched nearly enough. Of course, the other thing is the great majority of organizations have no idea what's actually reachable.
And that's what they were talking about, it being accurate or not, the SBOMs being accurate. So first starting with the SBOMs, that there should be more funding put into SBOM research to start doing quality assurance on them, basically, to see how accurate they actually are. So unfortunately, Steve and I have a hard stop at the top of the hour. Tony,
Sasha,
we're meeting.
what do you got, Sasha? I know you raised your hand.
Oh no, sorry, I don't want to hold you guys up too quick, but I've also seen the logging of CVEs used as a method to distract you away from, using AI to log these CVEs, basically overwhelming your system to a point where you don't know what, if it's real or not. I've seen some stuff like that.
I went to a presentation on how some of the open source communities got broken into.
Yeah.
They were getting overwhelmed with emails saying that they had to update this immediately, and then they got so tired they just started doing it, and that's how some big breaks happen. But before we have to leave, I just want to share this one thing with everybody. There is this conference coming up in Denver. So first is the first, I guess, company. They're not a company. They're open source kind of community, did VolnCon. And they normally do this conference has been going on for 38 years. I can't believe it. And it's normally in Europe, but this time it's going to be in Denver. It's particularly a big conference, so it's something that you might want to think about going to. I think I'm going to probably go. The people at VolnCon were so much like, I felt like I was with my peeps, but they didn't understand they were not thinking about the DevOps process and getting the fixes through. They were just looking at finding them. But I just want to bring this one up.
Drop the link into the chat.
I sure will. And I'll put it in the doc.
Utkarsh, what you got real quick?
Yeah, I was just mentioning we have a reachability also in place in the AIOps repository that I created. And it's doing class function analysis to find out if the particular vulnerability is exposed with the code that is present there or not. So yeah, I didn't know it is so much important. So if we can have some kind of write up like what we want to expose on the front line, we can definitely try to wrap that up into some score. Yeah.
Cool.
Why don't we get an issue opened?
We'll have to take a deeper look into that.
Let's get an issue opened and see if there's somebody who'd like to take it on, because I think it'd be interesting to add that to our dashboard, no doubt.
And starting with the blog post around that'll work too.
Yeah.
Yep, cool.
All right, team. I'm sorry that we have to jump, but Tony got us hooked up with doing some work with one of the national labs through one of his board seats, and we have a call at 5 minutes to start going through some of the docs we have to submit.
Go get them.
Awesome. Go.
Yeah.
Get the
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
And Jing, I'll respond to your email.